Hey, honey?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Fen, the board barista himself, bringing you a a Twilight of the Republic spoilers. And I just want to tell everybody, hey, check this out. We're at 202 subscribers. When we hit wait, how many do we need? Ghost, you're not co-starring here, bud. Move along. All right. Intro in 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's your boy Fen, the board barista himself. And before I dive into the spoilers for Twilight of the Republic, I want to point out this right here. This is the board barista playmat art. We will be giving away another one of these when we hit 500 subscribers. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe, help out the channel. It means a lot to me. We're at 202 as of filming this video. So enough about this. Let's dive into the spoilers so far. Okay, so first up, we got Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, let's see what Obi-Wan does here. So he is a 6-resource flip leader in vigilance and heroism. And we gotta mute the phone. He has, on his leader side, he has an action to exhaust him. Basically, if you play magic, that means tap. And heal 1 damage from a unit. When you deploy him, he becomes a 4/7 sentinel. You gotta have 6 resources to do this, so turn 5. Or, if you've been ramping, a couple turns earlier. He's got sentinel, 4/7 body, 4 attack, 7 defense, and on attack, heal 1 damage from a unit. If you do, deal 1 damage to a different unit, so it lets you move around your damage counters from the different units. Kind of cool. I think it's going to be interesting because you're going to be able to move damage off of those sentinel units and put that over onto somebody you want to basically playing around with the damage tokens, healing up your sentinels, making it so possibly your opponent's going to have to exert multiple attacks, especially with basically just blanking a battle droid, not being like some units on like 1 point left. You can use Obi-Wan to get that, bring it back up to a 2-drop, because there's gonna be battle droids everywhere, so your opponent's gonna have to waste 2 battle droids in order to take out a key sentinel. I can see this being good in limited, really good in limited to hate on battle droids and to mess up combat math for your opponent. Constructed, still kind of iffy about that. All right, let's check out the next card, which is Padme Amidala. Padme is a 5-resource costing unit, which means she flips on turn 5. On her leader side, she has the action, she has the ability Coordinate, which gives her the action of pay a resource and exhaust her to search the top 3 cards of your deck for a Republic card, reveal it, and draw it. Put the other cards on the bottom of your deck in random order. It's kind of weird to have to shuffle 2 cards, but you know, they have to say random order. When she flips, she becomes a 7/2 with Restore 1, and her Coordinate ability becomes on attack, so it becomes free. So you don't have to pay that resource for it, and you get to search the top 3 cards of your deck for your Republic card, reveal it, and draw it. Again, I'm pretty sure it doesn't have that whole like shuffle and put away. Even here on the SWODB, I'm wondering if they're gonna have to FAQ that, because you could just kind of like look at the top 3 cards and do you put them back on top? Do you put them on bottom? Yeah. That's going to be some rules questions for everybody. But no, being able to basically pay 1, scry 3, get one of them if it's Republic. If you're playing her, you're playing a Republic-centric deck. I think you could probably see her doing some cool stuff in an aggro deck where you're basically looking for your answers. If we got some cool Republic keyworded events, then being able to search up for those Republic keyworded equipment. So we'll keep track of while we're doing the rest of these spoilers. We'll keep track of the Republic and try to keep track of. I know I'm saying keep track way too many times, but we're going to find out how many different cards can she tutor up. So let's go to our next card. Next card is Maul, a rival in darkness. He has the action. Well, he's a 6-cost flip leader. He has the action of exhaust him, attack with the unit. It gains overwhelm. That is good to basically just be able to put overwhelm on anything that you got. So if you have any excess damage, you're not wasting it. You get to exhaust him and get the attack. It's not like the unit gains overwhelm. This is really strong, and I think we might be seeing a really like go big mid-rangey deck that uses Maul's ability just to push through more damage with some big units, some big cheap units. I think because you don't really want some 8/8s. Or 9/9s or 10/10s, but you want them to be on a little bit like 7/8 drops. You want something big to overwhelm with. Even just small stuff that's got really big damage and small defense, because it's gonna die anyways. You might as well get the splash damage from it. So I think Maul's pretty good on his leader side. On his unit side, like I said, it comes out on when you have 6 resources, you can flip him over. He's a 6/6 with overwhelm and gives everybody overwhelm. That is nuts. That is nuts with a capital N. Because you're just it just makes Maul into so much of a threat. He is a later drop, which means you want to use his ability before you attack with everybody, so you're really gonna need to have probably going to activate him, bash into something, whatever their biggest threat is to be able to counterattack with, throw some big attack, small defense thing into it to just go overwhelm it. That way it can, and probably going to want to have some sentinels to be able to make sure your opponent's not going to be attacking Maul. So I can see this being like another good mid-rangey leader for red aggression. Also with the Maul that's in this set, he gets to attack 2 things. So it's the whole thing of like giving the Maul unit card, and not the Maul leader card, giving that overwhelm, and then basically being able to be like, attack this, but we'll talk about that when we get to Maul. Next leader we have is Ahsoka Tano. She's another leader that has coordinate. Her action is to exhaust her and attack with the unit. It gets +1/+0 for this attack. Gain this ability only while you control 3 or more units. It's a conditional Boba Fett, like heroism Boba Fett, just being able to tap this, give something +1/+0, and you get to do the attack with it. So that is action economy. That's a little bit better than, you know, playing a unit, giving something else the buff, and then having to get the attack. So you don't. So your opponent can kind of mitigate it by just killing the thing that you gave the +2. Which, I think it's good. I think it's good to go wide. She is the starter deck leader, so usually I think starter deck leader is a little undertuned, but there's a lot of ways to get tokens out here. A lot of ways to be able to get units. She does flip on 5, so if you're doing a very aggressive go wide, like you're constantly spamming out tokens all the turn, you get a really wide board. When she's on her leader side, she just gives herself +2/+0. Yeah, that, if it was just like give all your units +1/+0, that would have been cool. It would have pushed her a little bit, pushed her over the top over Boba Fett. Her front side is better than Boba Fett. Her back side is not better than Boba Fett, and I know that came out wrong. But her unit side is worse than Hero Boba Fett's leader side, where he gives it to like everybody with a keyword. She just takes it for herself, and it's only +2. But that said, she is a 3/6 unit, so she does have some good defensive stats, and she does flip on turn 5. So if there is an aggressive go wide deck, I could definitely see her being that leader. Next up, we got General Grievous, the other starter deck leader. His leader side is action, exhaust it, give a droid sentinel for the phase. You know, basically saying, hey, you have to attack this droid. If it's, and there's lots of droids in the set, just being able to be like, okay, you have to attack this one battle droid over here. It's only a 1/1, but you got to clear that before you can take any of my other droids. Before you can take the damage to my base. Very good defensive wise, especially if you got ways to generate droids over and over and over. So you always have a chump sentinel unit that they have to deal with first. Grievous is good. Grievous flips when you have 6 resources, and he flips into a 4/8. That is some really good stats. That 8 defense, it's a really big number, really hard to chew through with a single attack, or even just a single attack with only just 1 card. He's probably going to take 2 units attacking him to get rid of him, or 1 really good unit plus a combat trick to give it like +2/+2 or +3/+0. Well, +2, you know, give it some either +2 or +3 to its attack value. See, that's going to eat another extra card out of somebody's hand, or it's going to eat 2 attacks. Plus, on attack, he gives a droid unit +1/+0 and Sentinel. So even they're going to have, you know, at that point, they need to have at least 2 attack units they can attack with to clear the Sentinel and Grievous, because you're definitely going to have, actually, they're going to need like 4 different units, because it's going to be, you activate Grievous to make one of your droids Sentinel. Your opponent, if they're going to attack, has to attack that one. So that's going to tie up an attacker. Then Grievous is going to flip. Maybe they got an attacker and attacking, do some damage, but don't clean Grievous off. So that's 2 attackers. Then, because Grievous attacks, they got to take care of another Sentinel with another attack. And then after that, they're going to have a 4th unit left over to attack Grievous with. Meanwhile, even if they're just got clone troopers, and you just were, you know, sentineling up a bunch of battle droids, that's still, you know, eating through a lot of their big stuff. And they got to have, this Grievous seems good to me. Like, he definitely seems like a good thing in a droid, control deck, because Cunning and Vigilance, like, those 2 colors together make a really good control decks. You know, Cunning and Command, if you go into green, you know, yellow-green, being able to get some ramp in there and have some really good units and play a good mid-range deck. I think Grievous has got Grievous can find a home with a bunch of battle droids, using that Sentinel ability and just kind of slowing down the tempo of the game, making your opponent have to do a bunch of bad attacks. And even Grievous Red, like with a Release Your Anger from set 2, making it so it's like you have to attack with that unit, and it has to be your next action. You can even choose their worst unit they have to do the attack, and you could probably actually eat like 3 units with Grievous. Like, especially, yeah, you can make. There's a lot of like Grievous has got some legs, and I think some people are going to brew some interesting fun, as well as like some tier 2 competitive fun control decks. The stuff that I specialize in. Tier 3 to tier 2 control. All right. Next card is Petranica Arena. I know. I take a lot of time off from Star Wars, and my pronunciation of the names go bad. But this is the arena on Geonosis. That's what I'm gonna call it. Geonosis Arena. The Geonosis Arena, each leader you control gets +1/+0. It's a 26 HP base that is probably only going to be good in Twin Suns. And they said that there's a theme for all of these rare bases, and I feel like the theme is Twin Suns. I think that is going to be the theme. These are going to be our Twin Suns bases, and that's going to be like it. Really. This is not going to see constructed play. You only getting the benefit on 1 card in your entire deck. And yes, it's a card that you get to have all the time, but leaders die so fast in this game. You only really get, I really only see, like if your leader stays on the board for more than 2, 3, if you hit 3 turns with your leader has not been answered, you're winning the game. And you don't need an extra 1 point of attack to make that go good. I mean, the only deck that probably wants this is double yellow Boba. Just because you can be like, oh, so my Boba Fett is now like a 5/7, and he's got the armor, so he actually he's got damage reduction 2, so he just takes 2 less damage from everything. If this sees play outside of any deck, it will be double yellow Boba, and it will be oppressive, and something out of that deck is going to get banned in Constructed, because that's the only place, because that probably is going to be like the final thing of like, okay, don't stop making stuff for Boba Yellow. No, we don't need any more cards to make that deck any more good than it already is. But outside of Boba Yellow, in Twin Suns, this base is just trash. Keshik Defender. Woo, we got more Wookiees for that Wookiee deck. Everybody want to build a Wookiee deck. It's a 2-drop 0/5 with grit. So every damage on the Wookiee makes it angry, makes it hit harder. When played, you can heal up to 2 damage from a unit and deal that damage to this unit. So early game, as it stands right now, early game, you're usually just not taking a damage on a unit. You're usually straight up trading units. But this is a format with a lot of tokens and a lot of 1/1s and a lot of 2/2s, which means probably something you attacked, you cleaned out. Like, you're probably not going to play this on turn 1, because the only way you're going to play this on turn 1 is you're going to play it in Blue Han, because you pay 1, you get and play this with Han's ability, you get a 4/1 for 1 with the comes into play, heal 2 damage from something else you played with Han. This is going to be busted in Blue Han. It's going to be Han Blue's like #1 go-to. Hey, this is my 2-drop, but it's actually my 1-drop. And if there's something else out there that you played and you're like, okay, I'll play R2D2 on turn 1 and then I'll heal the damage from R2D2 and I'll have my 4/1, or you'll have nothing out. It's your turn 1 play and you just drop it and it's a 2/3 effectively. Really good. Limited, I think it's all right. I mean, it's not, you don't have a way to play it and have it have damage on it when it comes in. You're probably not going to have, you might have a damaged unit and be able to put 1 or 2 damage on this to turn into either a 1/4 or a 2/3. Not consistently. You end up probably resourcing this in limited and wanting to play it late game, just to heal your dudes back up. It can be annoying, but I don't think it's going to be like, woo, first pick in a Wookiee. But, I might be wrong on that. Again, this is the last time I'll say something about Twin Suns, unless something is like dedicated for it. But this is kind of, we need more Wookiees for our Twin Sun Wookiee deck. You got Han and Chewie and the Wookiee going and like celebrating Life Day with the Wookiees. That's a deck. Han Life Day. That could be a deck. And you could also have it be double blue with yellow, so you can play all the Wookiees, and you can play Vigilance, and it'd be like, when you play Vigilance, you're vigilant and celebrating Life Day and getting life points, and it's a Wookiee card. You need to have like 50 Wookiees for a Wookiee deck, and we don't have 50 individual Wookiees yet, so we're getting there. Next card is Captain Typho. 3-drop, 2/4, and when played on attack, give a unit Sentinel this phase. Does not say another unit, so it can be himself. Doesn't even say a unit you control, which means you could, some reason, maybe an opponent or a politic card in Twin Suns. Okay, I'm gonna leave Twin Suns off the board. We don't play Twin Suns down here in New Orleans. We're all waiting for more cards. But, it's looking like we're getting almost to having critical mass to be like, we could have some Twin Sun decks. Just saying, guys. But, if he's your 3-drop, you got nothing else, he turns into a 2/4 with Sentinel. That's not bad. If he's a later game drop and you got a big unit or something you really want them to attack into, like a K2SO, you can be like, hey, K2SO has Sentinel. You got to attack into him. That way I can make you discard a card, deal 3 damage to your base. I know you've been trying to dodge K2. Or you want to make it so they have to attack something that's got some other cool on-death trigger, or something that's got a shield. But again, in limited this time around, there's no shield tokens, there's no experience tokens. So, but constructed, you can play this and be like, oh, that shielded unit, it now has Sentinel. So you gotta take care of that. And it poses questions to your opponent. We're like, how do I answer this? All right, next card is Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite. It's a 5-drop space unit in Vigilance and Heroism. It has 4 attacks, 6 defense. It's a Jedi Republic vehicle fighter. When played / on attack, you may deal 1 damage to this unit and 2 damage to another space unit. So, you can ping space units. Sadly, you can't ping a TIE fighter, TIE defender with this. It's also a 5-drop. That's really late-ish, but you play this, you're able to ping off last few points of damage on one of their space units, or a really small space unit that they're trying to hopefully put some experience counters on. You can just ping it off, shoot it down, combo with some other attacks, maybe take out something bigger. It's damage on a ship. You take 1 point yourself, but if you're playing Looks like Vigilance in this set has a lot of like heal your other units, so you could use this. You could use this twice, then drop a Wookiee, and there's no damage. If you haven't been attacked, you take no damage, and you've dealt out 4 damage, and you've got a 2 damage, or it's got more, and you get a 2/3 Wookiee in the deal. Yeah, nah. I'll be on Aether Sprite. It's an alright ship. Okay, 6-drop. Vigilance, Heroism, Knight of the Republic. Again, it's a 4/7. And when this unit is attacked, create a clone trooper token. Captain Typho works really great with this in limited. Basically saying, hey, this thing's got Sentinel. You got to attack it. You got to give me a 2/2 clone trooper token. That's pretty good in limited. Building it into Constructed, you're still going to be wanting to build that into the deck somehow of some way of giving this Sentinel. Captain Typho gives it Sentinel for a turn. It's too big for Chewie's leader, the leader side of Chewie's leader card. I think it's also too big for the backside. Does that still have a restriction? But if you got some ways to be able to give this Sentinel, it's going to make your army grow fast. And I think with Captain Typho and Protector, the upgrade from set 1 that gives a unit Sentinel, those might be some ways to kind of like, hey, gotta hit me. I've got 7 toughness. It's going to take a couple hits. And you're going to get a couple clone troopers. And if you're healing this guy back up, plus you're putting upgrades on him, he's going to be able to take a bunch of damage. And constantly be like, trooper token, trooper token, trooper token. As long as you can keep Sentinel on him. But it's a lot of build around me stuff. More mid-rangey deck for Constructed. You get the right cards in limited, it will be cool. Ah, yes. Hello there. I am really stoked for this. Blue Heroism has a big problem that it doesn't get access to the entire removal package. The fact that this doesn't just say defeat a unit with 4 or less toughness. This is straight up -4/-4. That's decent. More than decent. This is same cost and 1 more point of toughness removal. You don't heal the 2 like you do with Make an Opening, and the unit has to have entered play this turn, which means you got to keep this up to respond to somebody putting a unit in. So still, it's good. I can definitely see a case where on turn 3, you probably don't want to drop something. You probably don't even want to take actually turn 2, you might actually be like, unless you're the aggro deck, and the aggro deck's not going to play this, going second and having a hello there in your grip, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Like that's decent removal. Of course, again, like I said, it does have to enter play this turn, but you're always playing units, and if you can catch somebody like TIE Phantom and you're like, hello there, and it just goes away. So it's another piece that helps to remove against TIE Phantoms. And if you're playing a more control-y deck, you're not really wanting to be the one to use your resources first. You want to use your resources second. So I think this definitely shows you how to play control, and it's a great control card. Royal Guard Attaché. This is a 2-drop in straight up Vigilance. It's a 2/5, and when played, deal 2 damage to this unit. So grit matters. Having damage on stuff to be able, it enables the Wookiee if that's your turn. Your turn to play. You want to put the have it be a 2/3, but you've got something that's damaged, so you can use your heal abilities straight off the bat. And it's good if you have a way to be able to make it have grit, then it gets even better. And you can do that. The First Light, the flagship of the Crimson Dawn Crime Syndicate, that in play turns this into a 4/3 by giving everything grit. So, yeah. All right, infantry of the 2/1 of the 212th. This is Clone Trooper Republic 2-4 for 3. It has Coordinate, gain Sentinel when you have this and 2 other units in play. Coordinate as a keyword, I will say this. I think in Limited, this is going to be a go-wide format. This thing is probably going to have Sentinel every time you play it, or at least the turn after you play it. You're just going to want... You think it's like, I gotta have 3 units in play, but you're gonna have 3 units in play. This seal format is not gonna be as whack-a-mole as set 1 and set 2 was. I don't think it's gonna be that. I also think it's gonna be a lot. Well, set 1 was very whack-a-mole. Like, you basically want to have removal, trade up your dude for your good. Use your better dude to kill their weaker dude. Use your combat tricks in order to trade up your weaker dude into their bigger dudes, and you're just coming back and forth, trying to keep the board clear, so you got space to be able to deal damage to their base. Set 2 was a lot about building up your dudes to the point where they're able to take a bunch of hits and get chunky and have lots of upgrades. Set 3 is definitely going to be not so much about having the key units or having the key removal for key units. It's definitely about board control, and this is just more board control. This is board control on top of board control, because it's a 2-4, so it's got a big butt, so it can easily eat up any of the smaller units your opponent's playing, so you can try to keep them off of Coordinate. And once you got Coordinate, they're not going to be going after your weaker units in order to eat them up, so that way they can get you off of Coordinate, because this guy's tanky. I feel like it's going to be good in Limited. Constructed, we still have lots of all the really good removal from set 1. We still have lots of decks that are planning on building a unit up. If the go wide strategy, if you go too wide, you open yourself up to some board wipes. I know everybody's playing playing Control nowadays is playing Super Laser Blast, but this set, the 5 copies of Bombing Run that I have sitting in my trade binder, because I actually own about 9 copies. I have 3 basics, and then I have I'm pretty sure I have 1 of each variant, and then like 2 basic. Yeah, I've got like 2 basic, 1 hyperspace, 1 basic foil, 1 hyperspace foil. So I got 5 in my in my set binder, in my master set binder. Then I've got like 4 more in my trade binder. Like, Bombing Run's going to go up in value, because this thing will lose Sentinel after you play Bombing Run. And just... It might be the only thing left alive after a Bombing Run. But I think we're going to see Bombing Run become a tournament staple, and that's going to keep some of the Coordinate cards out. But this one might. It can survive Bombing Run, so it passed the Bombing Run test. So it's probably going to be one of the ones that gets included. Kaya-Mundi, he is a 5-drop pure vigilance Force Jedi Republic 5/7 ground unit. Has Coordinate. When an opponent plays their second card each phase, you may draw 2 cards. I think you're going to be able... It's a legendary. I think you're going to be able to pull that off in Limited, because you have to make plays. If you're trying to go wide, you get to a point where it's like, okay, I need answers. He's 7 toughness, so he survives a lot of attacks. He's probably going to need 2 units to get him off the board. So at that point, you're going to be down on units. You're probably going to be like, I need to play this card and this card in order to have any hope. And draw 1 is cool. Draw 2 is awesome in this game. Kaya-Mundi reminds me kind of like, I'm blanking on the name, but it was, Condemnation Sphinx? Conda something Sphinx. It was from Magic. It said whenever your opponent draws a card, you draw 2. That card was busted in Magic, busted in Cube, busted in Limited, busted in Draft, just busted all across the format wherever it was played for Standard or Limited. Kai is going to be good too because you are going to force your opponent to be like, I got to play 2 cards because I've got to answer, I got to play this in order to have a unit, and then I got to play this in order to be able to do my thing, and you're just going to get free cards off of this. I think Kai is going to be good. Wait, like, he's going to be good and constructed. He's going to be capital GOOD in Limited, because once you get to that state, if your opponent's only is like trying to play around this, and you're basically they're like, I'm only going to play 1 card a turn, and anytime they do it, you're getting to draw 2. You're getting better choices on what you're going to resource versus keep, because that's basically effectively your opponent plays 2 cards. Say you had like 3 cards in your hand. They play their second card. You draw up to 5. You might have enough resources to be able to play 1 more card out of your hand. Because like if Kai was your first turn play, then you're like, you don't have enough resources. If you don't have all the resources, if you go super late and say your opponent, say you board wipe and then you follow up with a Kai, and your opponent's like, I got to get some dudes out. And they're like a smuggle deck, and they've smuggled out one unit. Then they're like, oh man, I need to get a second unit out here. And you're like, They're like, play my second unit. So all you guys Kai that you played on the turn, put down to the board, but you've drawn in 2 more, and you drop off that second play. Then you've taken initiative. They pass or something. It ends the turn. You've got 4 extra. Instead of seeing just 2 cards, you get to see 4, and you really get to have those options. And that's what's going to make Kai great. Yeah, he's going to be good and constructed. He's going to be great and Limited because you're getting to see more of your deck, more options to be like, okay, that is a bad card in this situation. I already know that's going to be my auto resource next turn. Kai's gonna be good, and it's good that he's legendary because he's going to be busted in Limited, and that shows just how good. Like, that's the spot I want a legendary to be, is like really good in like fairly good in constructed, but like bomb in Limited. Not mandatory to have in your deck so you can keep the deck prices low, but really, really, really broken in Limited. That's what a legendary needs to be. All right. Invasion of Christosis, another legendary, and this is a spicy meatball. This is actually a solid vigilance one-sided board wipe. It cost 15, but you see that exploit 4 on the cost? Yeah. You're gonna, like, if you played Super Laser Blast, you were planning on losing 4 units anyways. This is a token go wide format. Chances are you've been making battle droids or you've been making clone troopers. You're gonna have some stuff to be able to sacrifice to this. You're like, okay, a Super Laser Blast would cost me 8. If I'm playing Vigilance Villainy, it would cost me 8. If I was playing Heroic Vigilance, it's gonna cost me 10. Every unit you sacrifice reduces the casting cost of this thing by 2. This is a one-sided board wipe that only costs 7 if you got 4 dudes in play. That is nuts. Nuts. In Limited, this thing is going to be played for 7 every single time. Constructed, a lot of the constructed decks don't use a lot of units. They might have a few. I've been playing Boba Blue, and I've been playing Dr. Afro a lot. I usually got 2, maybe 3 units on the board when I'm like, I got a Super Laser Blast. And I'm like, I'm going to lose those units, but if I don't clear the board, I'm going to take a lot of damage. Oh, I got to play my Super Laser Blast. I can't even, like, do something before the Super Laser Blast, because the Super Laser Blast is the thing that's going to let me survive to the next turn where I can play Vigilance. This, on the other hand, is just like, hey, I'm going to lose those guys anyways. They might as well make my thing cheaper. Even if that does make your board wipe like cost 9, I've gotten to the point where I've survived and had 3 units on the board and am willing to pay 9 for that. I've gotten to some games, I've gotten to the point where I've got 4 units on the board and I've got 13 resources. I could sacrifice just 1 dude, keep 3, and my control deck is doing just fine. Just fine. So, this is gonna be, like, it's not going to completely replace Super Laser Blast, and it's not gonna completely be the whole thing of, like, everybody's gonna switch over this. I think they're gonna play a mix. I think Dark Side Control is going to probably play the full set of 6, or possibly 1 or 2 of these and still play the Super Laser Blast. And it's gonna be this is straight up made Control better and constructed. And yeah, you just sacrifice 4 tokens, keep all the rest of your dudes that are on the board that made your tokens. Heroism is going to love this. Villainy, I think, is not going to love this in Limited because they're already sacrificing a lot of their dudes in order to put out their bigger dudes. So I see that being a kind of thing where they're like, I sacrificed way too many battle droids already. I don't have enough battle droids to keep to fuel this. But I think there's going to be a lot of clone troopers that are going to die, so that way the Republic can win some invasions. All right, next up, we're moving out of blue and into green. We got the General's Guardian. This is a command villainy. This is a starter deck card. Didn't have to say anything about starter deck cards since we talked about the leaders, because the starter decks are yellow and green and red and green. There's no blue-green, so blue is safe from me having to point this out. So this is not going to be in any way, shape, or form a limited card unless you're putting it in a cube. But if you're putting it in a cube, it's just there because you need something to be able to make the battle droids. Constructed, you need ways to be able to give this Sentinel. The easy ways to give things Sentinel are all in Heroism. So when attacked, create a battle droid token. You're not going to be able to like really trigger that a lot in Constructed. Yeah, it's gonna be a dud because you really don't like this is basically Darkside's K2SO. It's a 4-drop 4/4 that does something bad when your opponent attacks it, because usually we're playing K2SO and we're, you know, when the rebels are playing K2SO, they've cheated out for 1 less mana for Han, so it will die to almost anything in the game because almost everything in the game deals at least 2 points of damage. Or we snuck attack it out and it's going to die at the end of the turn anyways. You know, usually, or it's we ambushed it into something with to basically get damage on it. To kill something, and if it straight out trades with it, then it's going to get its die trigger. This is like only triggers when it's attacked. So yeah, it's I'm gonna say it's not relevant. Kraken, 5-drop, 2/5 unit. When played, you create 2 battle droid tokens. So yeah, it could lead into that invasion of Chrysosis and get that to be a little cheaper if you want to sacrifice some battle droids to that. But this is more enabling a lot more of the extort, bigger separatist units type thing. Also does fuel Grievous a little bit, gives him some more. He has a droid himself to give Sentinel, but also gets the battle droids you need to really keep Grievous from taking any real damage. And on attack, give each friendly token unit +1/+1 for the phase. So you usually got to get him to attack first, then he'll pump the rest of the team that's already out. So one of the things I don't like doing is I don't like playing before I get my attacks in, because it's so easy for your opponent, for your opponent to have some sort of removal or tricks or ways to get rid of your, or tap down your units. I feel like if you're playing an aggressive deck, you really want to be able to get all your attacks in before you start dropping stuff. And this is kind of trying to teach you to do the opposite of that, because you want to get everything out, because he will not pump anything that comes out after him. It's only the stuff that he sees while he's attacking. So yes, he's going to turn those two 1/1 battle droids you created into 2/2 battle droids on the next turn, but things can happen between now and then. Still, good little Anthem effect when you need it. So if you have gone wide and then are able to trigger him off and get him to attack, it is nice. But the hoops you have to jump through for Kraken, I think, are not worth it, in my personal opinion. Separatist Super Tank, Exploit 3. You can defeat up to 3 units. Each one you defeat makes it cost 2 less. So you can make this go from costing 9 to costing 3 if you got 3 battle droids floating around. Because you're Separatist. You're going to make the battle droids. You're not going to make the clone troopers. And it's an 8/8. Probably not going to be able to play it on turn 1. I mean, turn 2, just because you're not. But you can. We've been doing some math trying to figure out how fast you could get this out. And I think it's like you can. This is definitely going to see turn on like turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, like somewhere's in there, depending on how nutty of a draw you actually get and how fast you can get your droids out. Which means if you're playing against green and they're making a lot of battle droids, you need to be able to kill those battle droids, because this thing is going to be nuts and limited. And if they built their deck tuned specifically to be able to get an 8/8 out on like turn 3, turn 4, you're going to have a bad day. So, yeah. Fear the tank. Yeah. Fear the tank. All right, we need to go next. Ooh, I was a little worried there. Afraid my internet speed is slowing down. Consolidation of Power, 6-drop event. Command Villainy. Choose any number of friendly units. You may play a unit from your hand that costs if its cost is less than or equal to the combined power of the chosen units for free. Then defeat the chosen units. So, I mean, if you got Kraken, you get to attack with him. That makes Kraken he's got 2, 6. I mean, you're gonna want to play something really redonkulous in order to get this out. The cool thing is they could just be units that you've already gotten the damage in with, and you just want to get something else out big, something big with ambush and overwhelm that maybe costs a little bit more or has a really cool, like, comes into play and does some crazy shenanigans, like a Devastator, to be able to like deal 10 damage across your opponent's board. I could see something like that. I could see playing an overwhelming barrage to pump stuff up. I could see like general Veers and a bunch of cheap Imperial units to be able to cheat out like some big early plays. Then if its cost is less than or equal to the combined power, so it could actually even be something out of aspect. That's a spicy meatball. I think Constructed is where this is going to find some sort of like weird plays. I think in Limited, you're already sacrificing a bunch of stuff to make stuff cost less, because in this color combination of Command Villainy, I think it's not going to see play in Limited, because you're basically You're going to have a lot of battle droids, and they're all going to be 1/1s unless you attack with Kraken. And you're going to want to do this after you've attacked with everything, so at the end of the turn, I feel, and you're going to be giving up a lot of your board state in order to get that one thing out, and this is a go-wide format for draft, so yeah, I don't think Consolidated Power is going to be that good. I don't think so. I might be wrong, but I think it's going to be much better in Constructed. Echo! Oh, we got a second Echo! I was actually surprised. I didn't think that we were going to see, like, a couple of the named Bad Batch guys actually get, like, another version of themselves so soon, but, yeah, here we got Echo. Here he's a 2/2 for 2. That has coordinate. If you got 3 or more units, he becomes a 4/4. And he's kind of bad early game, a 2/2 for 2. I mean, a lot of 2/2, like 2 drops have a lot better stats. 2/2 for 2 is almost the same as a 1/1 for 2 in Magic. It's not the same as a 2/2 for 1. Just because everything's like 2/2 is like the bare minimum stats you can get for like 2. So yeah, I think it's gonna be like a filler card in the deck, just because you're not gonna want to play him on. He's not a turn 1 play. He's definitely like a turn 3, turn 4, turn 5 late game drop where you're like, okay, I just got 2 extra resources, drop a 4/4. So I think the same is said for limited as Constructed on him. It's just a soak up to use some excess resources. Rebel Tactical Officer is a 1/4 for 2. Then when played, you get to attack with a Rebel unit. It gets +2/+0 for this attack. Perfect. His stats are not as good as the Rebel Fleet Lieutenant, not as good as the Snowtrooper Lieutenant, but he is action economy. He is giving the +2/+0. It has to, again, Fleet Lieutenant and the Snowtrooper Officer. It's any unit, and it gets the bonus if it's that key faction. Having that be if it has the key faction, in order to get the attack at all, outside of limited, I think this is like what we got. Like Mace Windu is like the only Republic keyworded hero card from set 1. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was only like the number of keyworded Republic cards means this is going to be kind of delegated to and not getting the free attack no matter what. I think that's going to get dedicated to a limited only card until we get more Republic cards, and then it might see some creeping into some decks as a key card. I mean, it does have that 4 toughness, which means it does survive a lot in the early game, and does mean that he'll stick around and be there to help turn on coordinate, because he's going to need a couple attacks from your opponent in order to get rid of him. But I see him just as being a good limited. It's a dude that can deal 1 damage himself, and he gets to action economy to get an attack. So, and you can probably do some tricks to give him some other abilities like Sentinel or stuff like that in limited. So it's good in limited. Shakti, the Jedi who has had the most retconned or deleted death scenes in the entire game. Like, seriously, you look into how many different ways Shakti has died, or how they were going to kill her off. It's an impressive list. Like, she's got like all sorts of alternate death things, and I can see why everybody wants to keep trying to kill her, because she's a 4/4, she's 3/4, which means she can die easily. But not too easily. She needs to get impaled by that lightsaber, or shot down by a bunch of clone troopers. You know, it's going to take some effort to kill her. Each friendly token unit gets +1/+0. So that she makes clone troopers when she attacks. So instead of making 2/2 clone troopers, she makes 3/2 clone troopers. She comes down, and then you get to attack with your other clone troopers, and they're all attacking for 3. I feel like in limited, that's a yes. Sign me up. I want to grab every Shock T I can find because my opponent's going to want to keep killing every Shock T I play. Plus, she's going to need some decent attacks going into her, so I feel like she's a great turn 4 play. I play her on turn 4 as my first card. Then I attack with all my clone troopers. Then if she survives the next turn, I attack with her again, make a bunch more clone troopers. You see how it rinse, wash, repeat. You see how this goes. She's definitely somebody I definitely want to get a lightsaber on to her because she needs to get that defensive value up there to be able to survive for a while. But no, Shakti, great card. I think if we do see a go wide clone trooper deck make it into standard constructed, sorry, I played way too much Magic. I played Magic ever since like 96, so yeah. A lot of Magic keywords are stuck in my head. They're never coming out. I haven't played Magic in like 2 years. It's all still there. But yeah, Shakti is definitely, if she's a staple. 3 of her have to go in every Clone Trooper token deck ever. Pelta Supply Frigate, 5-drop space unit. It's a 3/6 with coordinate. When it's played, you create a Clone Trooper token. So you just need 2 other units out, drop this, create a Clone Trooper token. Call it a day. It's even if Shock T was your 4-drop, you attack with her, you got 3 units, your opponent doesn't kill that Clone Trooper, you're like, Supply Frigate. Got another Clone Trooper. Now I got 4 units. They're like, shoot, I can kill one of the Clone Troopers, but I can't. Oh shoot. Yeah. Then you get behind. Also love the color scheme on this. It very much is colored like a Dinobot. Transformers. Really colorful. All right. Captain Rex. Sad to see that he is a starter card. Actually, wait a second. I'm forgetting to check on that. Yeah, okay. Let's probably forget. Not a starter card. Captain Rex. Starter card. 6-drop. 4/4. Republic Clone Trooper. When played, create 2 Clone Troopers. And Clone Troopers are 2/2 Republic Clone Troopers. This is pay 6, get 8 points worth of units. I'll say it again. If you played Shock T on turn 4 and you played the Supply Frigate on turn 5, and then turn 6 you played Captain Rex, you have 6 units at least. If everything before that all died, you have at least 6 units. Coordinate is online. Every token, you have 7 units, 3 of which are Clone Troopers, 4 of which are Clone Troopers. Yeah, 4 of which are Clone Troopers, 4 of which are 3/2s. There's a reason why this thing is only in the starter deck, because it would be busted in limited, which means I need to put one in my cube. And yeah, no, I'm happy about Captain Rex. The only thing that would make me happier is if he had the whole thing of like he came into play tapped and attacking and made those. Oh wait, he can come into play tapped and attacking and put 2 1/1 tokens into play. Granted, they're not going to be tapped and attacking, and he has 1 more power than the Magic the Gathering card that I'm thinking of. If you know what the name of that card is, leave it down below. But you ECL Captain Rex out. You have a 4/4, and then you got 2 2/2 backups. Board control, people. Board control. You'll never see this. It couldn't have been printed in the set. It could only have been put in the starter decks. It'd be too nuts. And it's going to be a staple 3 of in the clone decks. In a mono green clone deck. Yeah. Ooh, wait, that makes Padme even better because you can search the top 3 cards of your deck to try to find your Captain Rex. Oh, shoot. Now I've been keeping track of how many people we can use Padme to find Shock T. We can use Padme to find Captain Rex. Oh my God. Mono green clone troopers. Guess what? Another card for mono green clone troopers. They even cost green and cost 3. It's your 3-drop. That automatically turns on your coordinate. Suryuken. Actually, it doesn't. Because, well, you play your 2-drop. Play your 2-drop. 2-drop survives. Play this for 3. Get your other 2 clone troopers. Activate Padme. Go dig for the Shock T. I'm in magical Christmas land now, and I'm having a fun day. Because manufactured soldiers, you either create 2 clone trooper tokens, or you create 3 battle droid tokens. It should have said 4 battle droid tokens, but that would have made it busted for the separatists. Because right now, as it is, like if you're playing this, you want the clone troopers. Because you're playing, you want coordinate. Because you're just like, I just need one other thing, and I have coordinate. Or you want 3 battle droids, and you're going to make something cost 6 less because you're just going to sacrifice the 3 battle droids. And that is actually in the set. It's not a starter card. If you're playing a token deck, you need 3 copies of manufactured soldiers. Either format. It even gets nuttier if you're if you're playing this in limited. Don't take more than 3 because it's unless you drafted something completely busted. You don't want to go be like, dude, I got 5 copies of manufactured soldiers. Unless you got like a ton of those and then you take the Invasion of Christophsis. Oh my God. This card is just like, hey, do the thing your deck wants to do. Have fun. GG. Granted, you got to be in double green or you're paying 5 for this. You're paying 5 for this. I would still pay 5 for this. I'd still be like, 5 mana? Make 3 battle droids? Yeah. Especially late game. You're like, my opponent's all played out all their stuff. Or your opponent's gone and they're like, I'm going to take initiative. And you're like, okay, I'm going to play manufactured soldiers. As you got lots of dudes, you can still tap and turn dudes sideways. And you can action resource, action economy. I mean, there's going to be some fun with this. There's going to be some fun with this card. I'm loving it. It's only uncommon. Coruscant Guard, 2-drop. This is going to be the card you want to play before it. Oh, wait, no. It has ambush as its coordinate. You want to play... I wish it just had ambush. I wish it didn't have that coordinate clause. Because, I mean, it's a 3-2. But you need to have 2 other dudes on the board in order to get something that's going to be traded with early drop. And it's an early drop itself. Really only good just to eat battle droids in limited. Is all I'm going to say. It's not, it's weird and clunky and not going to be like good in constructed. You want some other 2-drop. 3-drop 501st Liberator. Yes, we pronounced that 501st. Mono command. It's a 3/3 Republic clone trooper. When played, if you control another Republic unit, you may heal 3 damage from your base. Ooh, sounds like another 3-drop for our mono green clone trooper deck. Just be able to get 3 damage healed back on your base. That is not bad. Not bad at all. It's gonna help you stall, help you go a little longer. Yeah. Gore. 12-drop. 7/7. Has exploit 3, so every unit you sacrifice while playing this makes it cost 2 less, and you can make it cost 6 less. So let's say you got 3 battle droids, because battle droids are made to be sacrificed. Clone troopers are made to bash face. So you drop it down to a 6-drop, but its cost as printed is 12, so you can't ECL this. But you're gonna play it on 6. It's gonna have Sentinel. So everything has to attack it. So something's going to take 7, or multiple things are going to take 7 until they can clear this. It has ambush, so if it shows up, it gets to auto attack, and it has overwhelm. So if your opponent's is playing, if you get this in limited, and your opponent has got a battle droid out there, maybe a battle droid. Yeah, maybe a battle droid. They've got like some pumps or some stuff on, but they got a battle droid. They got a little X1. You drop this, they're taking 6 because that overwhelm damage is going to flood through. Then you've got a 6/7, and they've got just a bunch of small stuff that they either have to they're either planning on sacrificing to play something big like Gore themselves, which means they're probably not going to be able to chew through it. They're probably just going to sacrifice all their battle droids, put something big out, and that something big is going to have to attack into this because it's got Sentinel. And then you can just trade off with something small to finish off the last bit of damage on it. It's amazing. Gore is cool. All right, General's Blade. 3-drop mono command, so you can play this in hero and visualism. They should just put a hero thing on there because there's no Jedi in villainy. It's all Sith stuff, so you're never going to be able to play this in villainy and be well, I'm not going to say never. When we get Balin's Skull and Shin Hati, who are both going to have Jedi tags, but they're going to be villains. But that's not for like first 9 sets already got produced before Ahsoka came out, so we're not going to see them for at least 3 more years. So this card is going to be heroism only for about 3 years, but everybody, mark my words. But you put it on a non-vehicle unit. If the attached unit is a Jedi, it gains on attack. The next unit you play this phase costs 2 less. Some decent ramp. Because even if you play this on turn 3 on a 3-drop, probably on turn 4 on a 3-drop Jedi, that gives you 1 resource left over. You attack with the Jedi. It deals some damage. You can play a 4-drop. So you got the General's Blade, pumped to Jedi by 3, be able to eat a Sentinel or attack some key thing of your opponent you don't want them to keep on the board. It's probably going to be able to eat that thing, live, or you can bash into the base, get some damage in, then maintain that tempo by making a 4-drop, getting another unit down, maybe another removal piece. Unit. Yeah, it's going to be another unit. Sorry, I don't know why. I thought I said card for a second there. But yeah, you'll get General's Blade. Good ramp. Good way to get towards getting that coordinate abilities. Great way to keep Shakti from dying is to give her this. I think. And there's going to be so many Jedi across different rarities that, yeah, you're not going to be worried about having a Jedi to put this on in limited. So, next. All right, the Clone Wars. Pay 2, then pay as much as you feel like. Get that many clone troopers. Your opponent's going to get that many battle droid tokens. But seriously, man, you got 2/2s that can eat their 1/1s. And you're going to win out on that. Either you're going to have like a ton of just damaged 2/2s. And they'll have just a bunch of 1/1s. But it will be a slogfest. Or in constructed, you echo this out. You side in like you slide in 3 of these in a deck that's got echo. Okay, they're straight up resource targets until your opponent's like super laser blast, and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna bring out echo. Then I'm gonna pay 4. If you got green blue, actually wait, no, echo is straight up heroism. Scratch that. You're playing green. You're going to have 3 of these in your sideboard in your Echo deck because you just bring all 3 in. You use them just straight up as resources. They super laser blast. Smuggle out Echo for 4. Smuggle out the Clone Wars for 4. You've used your 8 resources. They've used their 8 resources. You don't even have any resources to be able to play it out. Yeah. Okay, so theoretically, you smuggle out Echo. Maybe if you keep one of these in your hand, just to be like, okay, you super laser blasted me. Make 6 clone troopers, and yeah, you get rid of you get 6 battle droids. Great recover, but I feel like it ends up being like you smuggle these out. You bring the you resource Echo, you resource these. It's getting down to that end of the game slugfest. You know, the 15, 16 cards resource, because you're just in everybody's in top deck mode. You can't get past their overwhelming whole thing, and you're just like, ba-bam. I'll make 17 resources. I will give you 15 battle droids. I will make 15 clone troopers after you just super laser blast. They'll play something else. You'll be like, okay, cool. My turn. And start hitting you for 2, hitting you for 2, hitting you for 2, hitting you for 2. It's a magical Christmas land thing. You gotta be, you definitely need to have a good life total, a good amount of, be able to take a good amount of hits after that. But that's like the case where I see this being good, because it would need to have smuggle in order to actually, you don't want to like sit this in your hand and then basically be like you don't even want a bombing run. Actually, you want a Snoke. Oh, you want a Snoke. Yes. Blue-green villainy would love this, because you play Snoke and Wrath their board. Or you play a Snoke after you super laser blast. That way it weakens everything else. You make all your clone troopers, give them all the battle droids. All the battle droids die. So there's a lot of like play around space in constructed. In limited, this could just be that late game. All right, I'm done playing this game. Bam, clone troopers. Tap myself out. Look at your opponent. Especially if it's the whole thing, like, you can take the hits, and you guys have been battling back and forth and playing removal, and it's like a slugfest, and you're just like, bam. I get 10 clone troopers, you get 10 battle droids. Let's do this. And then you play like you've got like the Shock T in your hand, so you're able to like play her, do a bunch of other stuff. I mean, it's gonna be funny when a game of limited gets decided by this card, but you're not going to plan for the game to be decided on this card. Like, you need to have like a lot of healing and just make sure that you're way ahead, have ways to be able to nerf their side of the board, because you're giving them as many units as you're getting. Just because yours are stronger does not mean that you can just, it's not magic. You can't just make all of those, take your turn, and then attack and kill your opponent. No, there's the back and forth. This card, a lot of people are going to try to make it work, and I think because you're trying to make it work, it's going to distract you from actually being able to win the game. And that's my hot take on the Clone Wars. It's kind of weird. And you got to hope that your opponent's not already playing a clone deck, because if he's playing a clone deck and you did that to him, he's just like, ah, okay, I'll sacrifice all these ones, make this big thing. Sacrifice all these ones, make this big thing. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Confederate Tri-Fighter, 3-drop, aggression, hero ability. Wait, I just want to go back. Sure. Yeah, okay, that is rare. All right. So there's no aggression, villainy cards in the starter deck. So we're good on that. We don't have to save. Oh, look, it's starter deck only. So Confederate Tri-Fighter, bases can't be healed. It's a 3/3 for 3. Threes, try. I get it. But it's a static ability, unlike Wolf's, where it's just like on play and attack. So they got to get rid of this. Granted, it dies to Vigilance. So if you're bringing in to fight a hard control, healing up Vigilance deck, it dies to Vigilance. It dies to make an opening. It dies to takedown. It dies to rivals fall. It dies to vanquish. It dies to everything except Slay the Dragon. Slay the Dragon, only removal card that does not answer this thing. Sounds like a bit of a tryhard, but in limited, those don't exist, and I feel like that is where this is going to shine. And unlike Wolf says for the remainder of turn, this is just like static while it's in play. Wolf is better than this, and Wolf can be played because Wolf is just straight up aggression. He's not either side of the other. So I think this is much more of a limited card in order to keep people off of their healing abilities. That being said, if your opponent is not playing with like healing, with like blue healing, like vigilance healing, this does become a good sideboard card. If they're a green deck and healing in constructed, dropping this sucker in, okay, yeah, I can see it. B1 attack platform. 3-drop. It's a 5/2. I like those stats. I like being able to deal 5 damage on turn 4 with one card. The problem I have with this card is that it's this is not called okay, I understand the B1 is on the attack platform, but the actual thing that he's riding is a single troop attack platform. It's a stat. And I love the stat fighter, the staps. Those things are my favorite vehicle to come out of episode 1. Like, that actually made me enjoy the movie because I was like, oh, dude, I can't wait, like, in the Star Wars role-playing game to have somebody have one of those things, and that's going to be such a sweet ride. It's like a flying Segway. And this thing came out before Segways were a thing. It's amazingly cool. And the nerd in me loves these things. If I could have any personal or personal speeder in all of Star Wars, I would own one of these things. So it really makes me want to be able to play this in a deck. Granted, it's only got 2 toughness, dies to just about everything dies. Everything that can attack this will probably die. Granted, it's got 5 power, and if I'm playing it with General Grievous, it's gonna have Sentinel. A 5/2 Sentinel that just trades with so many things is so sweet and so cool. I love it. And it's common, which means I can draft a bunch of the... you got me. Fantasy Flight, you got me. You got me. Like, I might have a pet card. I think the foil hyperspace of these things are going to look sweet. But a 5/2 beat stick or a 5/2 defensive stick in limited, gonna be nice. It's probably never going to hit in... I mean, we have a 4/1 space unit that when it dies, when you have initiative, you get to draw a card. And that thing sees no play. This is just a 5/2. It's got 1 better stats all around. Granted, you know, 5 or 6 swings with this thing, and you'll kill your opponent. It does sound like a good aggression card, but it does trade up when it dies, when it gets attacked, unless it's got shield. And if you can put some shields on this thing, it becomes better. I know I really want this to be good. But it might just be a limited fun card to play in limited. That might be all it is, but I'm hoping somebody out there makes a deck with it and breaks this thing. All right, 7-drop, Savage Oppress. Darth Maul's brother. He's a 7. He's a 7/7 for 7. When you play it, if you control fewer units, including this one, than the opponent, ready the unit, which means if they're going wide, you're going big. And the problem is he doesn't have Overwhelm, but if you're playing Maul as your leader, he does have. You can give him Overwhelm. And him overwhelming, being able to attack through a battle droid and deal 6 into their base and become a huge threat when he's paired up with his baby brother. It's good. And he's only uncommon, which means that's going to happen a lot in limited. I like it. I like it a lot. Still lots of better cards for 7 drops in constructed. But limited, boom! Batch Brothers, 3 drop, 2/1. When played, you get to create another clone trooper. So just a way to go wide with your red decks. And it's common, so yeah, you want to like go wide, red green, go wide tokens. It's gonna be a really good aggro deck. It's gonna be making so many threats. Your opponent's not gonna be able to deal with stuff. And honestly, having 1 toughness, it doesn't really matter because it does matter because a battle droid can trade with this, but the battle droid's the only thing that just trades with it. Mostly everything else just kills it. And a lot of early game stuff, this also kills, so... But you're still going to have a 2/2 left around when this dies. Unless they can kill both. So, it's good. It's really good. Jesse. 3 drop, 4/4, raid 1. So this thing attacks for 5. When played, an opponent creates 2 battle droid tokens. Okay, so you don't have overwhelm to be able to mitigate that. He does get to have like 2 little things be able to ping you for 2 every single turn after this. But Magic the Gathering has a cycle of cards called the Haunted Creatures. The Hunted Creatures. They're all creatures. When they come in, they give your opponent 2 tokens. 2 1/1 tokens. Or it gives your opponent 2 of something. Gives your opponent a little boost, but gives you something really overstated. And a 4/5 for 3, and the 2 things that you give your opponent can't even deal with this on their own. Yeah, that's way better than the B1 attack platform, and only for like really like 2 extra HP. Jesse, I think, is going to be a staple of the aggressive decks. Also, your opponent having those extra battle droids, chances are they're going to be tempted to use them to get some chip damage. That's going to cause you to have a better action economy. I think in Magic, it was more of a downside to be able to have a haunted creature giving your opponent 2 1/1 spirit tokens, which is the one that it's the black hunted creature. I can't remember the name off it. The only one that keeps coming to me is Haunted Wampus, and that's a green, and it's not 1/1s that it gives your opponents. It's something else. I think it's 2/2s, or it's like 3 1/1s. But they're able to actually take out, like if he goes, I'll attack with all these and take care of your thing. Can't play him with Snoke, sadly, or else that would completely negate everything. You can play him with Bombing Run in Constructed, which means he'll survive on 1, and the battle droids will be gone. So that does open up Jesse to do some cool plays. But yeah, and with Red Han, you can drop him on turn 2. At that point, you can drop him on turn 1. At that point, the 2 battle droids can trade out with your opponent. Your opponent can trade out with it. But if you've got initiative, and all they're going to do is seize initiatives, so they can spare... They can try to... Well, they can't even kill Jesse with both of their tokens before taking the 5 damage to their base. Yeah, no, he would be a great drop in Red Han, in an aggro Han list, and just great in the go wide clone trooper deck, because you just put him out, and then you're using like the other clone trooper, the Batch Brother. Those 2 can just like go over, attack. You'll lose the Batch Brother, but you'll have 1 damage on the clone trooper. Yeah. You can. This is not a drawback. Giving your opponent 2 battle droids is not a drawback. Not unless they have an Anthem effect and can pump them all up. But that's a 5 drop for them. So yeah. Unless they've got Grievous, then Grievous can give one of them Sentinel. But some situations may be bad. Other situations, Jesse's just total Total beat sick. Anakin Skywalker. Okay, so we got another starter deck card with Anakin. He's a 5-drop 6/6 with some good stats. His coordinate ability is on attack, draw cards, so you're getting to dig deeper, have more. Like, set 1, I was really looking down on drawing a card. Set 2, with Dr. Pershing, being able to just get to draw more cards, have more options about what I want to resource, what I want to keep, how do I want to play this hand. I think Anakin's good in that 5-drop for constructed. He's got some good stats. He's going to be able to trade with a bunch of things, take a hit or two. And, you know, you're going wide, so you probably made a bunch of tokens. So you're just going to be able to get him out. You can ECL, if you've got 2 other units, you can ECL him out. If you're playing red-green, you ECL out him, attack into something, eat it, and then draw a card. So all you're really out is the 5 resources. And no, it's good. All right. Next card is the Low Altitude Shuttle. I've been hearing a lot of people talking some good stuff about this. It's a 6/6. It's a 6/5 for 6 with Overwhelm. So you can ECL this thing out, eat something like a battle droid to be able to bash their base for 6. When played, deal 1 damage to it for each friendly Republic unit. Choose an enemy unit, deal 1 damage for each. You're gone wide. You attack. You put this out. You're able to basically just, it's an Admiral Akbar, but you get to count all of your units on table because, you know, you're playing Mono Republic, Clone Troopers, tokens. So you're able to just shoot something right down with this thing, and ECL to get possibly 5 damage onto their base. It's good. In limited, it is a beat stick because they're gonna have battle droids if they're playing a separatist deck. If they're playing a hero deck, they're gonna have clone troopers. So you're gonna get 4 or 5 points of damage into this thing when you bash face with it, and you're gonna have a bunch of tokens and your regular units to count up to be like, oh, I'll get rid of that big thing, which means it's a great counterplay to some of those big units that they've exploited, sacrificed a bunch of their battle droids to in order to get down. General all around, I almost want to say this is first pickable. This is first pickable. All right, heavy 4-drop 4/4 with coordinate gives it raid 2. That's not bad. You got the dudes out. You got 2 more dudes out there. You're bashing face for 6. And when it's defeated, you deal 1 damage to each enemy ground unit. Oh, ECL Clone Troopers, you got a card. Because all you do is bash this into their biggest thing and just shoot all. You're playing against a Separatist army, you're going to kill so many battle droids. And they're not even going to want to like kill this if they're trying to hoard up a bunch of battle droids to be able to play a couple big things. If they're trying to spam battle droids and you're like, I got a way to kill this. I got a way to kill it. It's defeated. It's gone. I nuke your board. Yeah, heavy is a card in limited, and I think in constructed as well. He might be more of a sideboard card, but he's a card for constructed. Aurora Singh, 7-drop 7/6, Underworld Bounty Hunter, Flavor Fail. Okay, I don't know if it's true in the new canon, in the Disney canon, but in the EU, she was trained in the ways of the Force. She should be a Force unit. She has, at least in the extended universe, she had the Force. But Overwhelm, okay, I'll forgive you. A 7-drop with Overwhelm. That's good. 7 power Overwhelm. When an enemy ground unit attacks your base, ready this unit. Oh, and she's uncommon. If you're playing red in limited, you want this unit because it just basically stops your opponent from like, I can't hit you or I'm going to get hit back. Like the Chewie, the Sentinel, like the Chewie that untaps when he takes damage. That Chewie was a powerful 7-drop because it would make your opponent go, Actually, it was a 6-drop, I think. It was a powerful, powerful big unit. I mean, it was only a 3-9 or 3-6 or something like that. He only did 3. But every time that you got him, he got attacked, he got to, yeah, he was a 3-something Sentinel. Every time he got attacked, and your opponent would just be like, I'm not attacking. I'm not attacking. This is like the same kind of card to be this gonna make your opponent go, I'm not attacking. Because even if they don't have any Sentinels and they're attacking your base and they're trying to aggro you out, you're just slapping them across the face for 7. Just reaching across the table and just bam, 7 damage. Don't attack me. Just like, come on, hit me, I dare you. That's what Aurora's thing is doing, and Chef's Kiss, love this card. I think she'll find room in Constructed. She'll be a bomb in Limited. An uncommon bomb. Alright, into Separatist Commando. Getting into the Cunning cards now. This is a starter deck card, so we're only talking about it in Constructed, because you can't get starter deck cards in drafts. It's a 2/3. When you control another Separatist unit, it gains Raid 3, so basically you play it on turn 1. Turn 2, you drop some other Sentinel thing, or possibly your opponent gives you a battle droid, and you're able to slap face for 4. I'm going to call it now. When you're attacking base, it's like, go for 4. That's not bad. 2/3 for 2 is already on rate stats. It's like what we're used to paying for a 2/3. But a 4/3, and also works with a bunch of other cards that say like power, 3 or less. It doesn't have that until you attack with it. Not bad. Not bad at all. Decent ground unit for a good aggro Cunning deck. 3-drop, Unnatural Life. This is a Force event. Play a unit that was defeated this phase from your discard pile. It costs 2 less. It enters the play ready at the start of the regroup phase. Defeat it. I feel like this is going to be a card for the control mirror matches, for a Cunning control, like a Boba control, an Afra control, maybe a Thrawn control, of just being like, hey, you you stole the initiative, you super laser blast. I'll play this. I'll just play this big threat you killed for. You super laser blast to kill my Avenger. Okay. Or you stole initiative to kill my Avenger. Okay. I will bring my Avenger back for 10. And you gotta sacrifice a unit. You don't have anything to sacrifice. Okay. You can't play anything until I attack with Avenger. I attack with Avenger, you're dead. We good? Alright. Game 2. So I see Unnatural Life as being sideboard card for those decks. Maybe for it's a build around. It's a build around sideboard card. Like, it's a situational answer. You're not gonna really play this in limited, because in limited you're more trading back and forth. It's not really like your opponent's gonna tap out and not have any answer for you bringing it back. You might play it just to be lucky that you have it at the key point when you need it, getting back a really big unit to be able to, that's going to be ready so you get to attack with it. I don't know. It seems like a lot of hoops to jump through, and you don't get set up properly for it, and you don't have more than one card for it because it's a rare. Chances are you're not going to see like 2-3 of these in a draft to be able to have it in your hand at the key moment. It's a win more card. And we're moving on. R2-D2. We got a new R2-D2 for this set. Cost 2. He's a 2/4. So I think that's 1 more power than his previous version. So I know he got older, between the Clone Wars and you know, A New Hope. So you know, he's a little older, a little slower, a little more carbon scoring and gunked up in the system. But plus, he lost his rocket jets, so you know, a little slower. Can't really get enough speed to headbutt somebody. Now he can headbutt somebody. When played, you may discard. Oh. So yeah, when you play him, you basically get... Okay, this card has been called busted by a few other YouTubers, just because basically you're getting to ponder with this card. You play it, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, you pick one that you want, you put the other ones on the bottom of your deck. It could be called Ponder. It could be called Scry. It could be called like basically like Scry 3. More like a Scry 2, because if you don't like the top 2 cards, you're basically taking the 3rd card. I think it's good because we're going to be able to like. Being able, like, I've really realized it with the bounty that lets you look at the top 10 cards and pick 2 non-unit cards to put in your hand, and then if you had the bounty on a unique thing, you don't have to discard a card from your hand. That card is good, because you're getting to dig into your deck, look and see more stuff. The power of For a Cause I Believe In is basically you get to look at the top 4 cards of your deck, deal some amount of damage, and then basically if you want a key card, you leave it on the top of your deck. If you don't want any of that stuff, you can just move past it. And being able to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and be like, is there something here I need? Yes? Oh, good. Then I got something good in my hand. No? Okay, then I've got a straight up decent, I can resource this next turn and not worry about it and possibly use my next 2 cards. This version of R2 is going to be really good, because the other version of R2 is just kind of like, look at the top card, do you want to keep it on top to put it on bottom? This is letting you do that with 3 cards, and the card that you want to keep actually goes into your hand. That's power. That's going to be a 2-drop to reckon with. And the wonderful thing is, you can play both of the R2s. And in a Red Han Cunning deck, like a young Han Cunning deck, you can play both of the R2s. Because you can play R2, you can play original R2 for free, with 2 damage on it. So it's a 1/2. And you look at the top card, decide, do I keep this on top or put it on the bottom? And it's like, okay. But you really want to play the original R2 after you play this one, because you look at the top 3, you're like, hey, yeah, I want that one. Okay, these 2, or it can go to the bottom. Okay. Play old R2 for 0. Look at the top card. Do I want this, or do I ship it down to the bottom with the other ones I didn't want? And then you're like, okay, time to draw. Pure gas. I think if you're limited on deck space, you're probably only going to run this R2, because this R2 is so much better than the other R2. And the original R2, the set 1 R2, is still really freaking good. So, yeah. That being said, that R2... Yeah, and this one is not a starter deck card, so you can actually get this in. You can actually have this R2 in draft. Ooh, so good. All right, Sabine Wren. Oh, it's one of my 2 girls. Oh, it's Sabine. It's my girl until Shin shows up. She is my girl in this game. Actually, I got 3 girls in this game. I got 2 girls in this game already. I got Lady Fen and I got Sabine. Love Sabine. Loved playing Sabine Yellow. This Sabine makes me play Sabine Yellow so I can have both Sabines. Finally got another Spectre unit to put in the Hera deck. I mean, come on, people. That I always knew over time the Hera deck was just going to get better as we got more things. She's also a Mandalorian. Means she can go into a Bo-Katan Cunning deck. She's got some places, some homes to go live. Nobody's gonna kick her out of the bed for eating cookies. Okay, especially Shin. Shin eat the cookie with her. Anyways, she's a 4-drop. She's a 4/4. She's holding a lightsaber, but she has not started training with Ahsoka yet, so she does not have the Force keyword. I think like the next time we get a copy of her card, in that fringe keyword is gonna be replaced with Force. Unless they decide to give her Force, and then she's just like, I'm Sabine, I got all the keywords. Yeah, Rey, you are all of the Jedi. Sabine, you are all of the keywords. Haven't even gotten down into. So while this unit is exhausted, she can't be attacked. So you drop her on the table exhausted. She comes into play exhausted. Cannot be attacked. Can only be removed by removal. On attack, you may discard a card from your deck. So you discard the top card. If it doesn't share an aspect with your base, so basically the opposite of Quill, you deal 2 damage to a ground unit. The wonderful thing is, you put her in, constructed wise, you put her in Hera Green, double green Hera for the ramp. She ends up basically letting you, if you discard any of the other Spectre units, you deal 2 damage to a ground unit. Which then, because you're playing Hera and you have all the Spectre units, you can attack. You've already attacked and dealt 4 with this one. You can then deal 2. So you probably killed one thing, did 2 damage to another. You can attack with regular Sabine, with the 2-drop Sabine, attack that, and you attack the thing that's got 2 damage on it already. You can either trade up to something that's got 5 health, and still got 3 or less health remaining, or if it's only got 1 health remaining, you kill the Sabine, take no damage, and they can't attack your 4/4 Sabine because she's exhausted, because she just got done attacking, and because you've got like another Spectre unit out, you've got the whole thing of they can't attack the little Sabine because you got your multiple of the colors, and it's like you got this Sabine like, haha, I can't get attacked engine going, and you know it's just beautiful. Like the Hera deck in Constructed just, I think, got one more toy and is kind of cool right now, because yeah, it's chock full of Spectre units. None of those Spectre units match your base because you're playing double green so you can ramp. It's amazing. Yeah, so the Hera deck is got a new toy and it's really cool right now. As for limited, the fact that she can't, as long as you can hold on to the initiative and be able to attack with her, then exhaust her so she can't get attacked. That's a guaranteed 4 damage going somewhere. As long as you're able to protect her, she's not using her to deal damage, or not taking a lot of damage, just using her to kind of like ping off battle droids. You know, you're probably, if yellow is your support color, then if yellow is your, so if you're playing yellow because you got a bunch of yellow cards and you got a yellow base, that second ability in limited is not going to count, is not going to happen a lot. Plus, I don't like discarding for my stuff. I mean, Quill is cool and all. Quill does do some cool stuff with his whole, like, discard if it doesn't match, you get to draw it. So it's a draw ability. It's a chance at a draw ability. So if you're playing a blue leader in draft, then, and like you're more leaning on your base color, then Quill is good. But if you're playing a heavy yellow deck in draft and you're really leaning into that color, then Sabine kind of hurts you for doing that unless you take one of the yellow leaders. And I don't think we've seen one of the yellow leaders yet for heroism. No, we haven't seen a yellow heroism leader yet. So we don't really know, like, do you really want to be playing a yellow heroism leader? Now, understand, heroism leaders, generally tend to suck. Other than Han. Han was the one good one. But and Grievous is looking to be pretty good too, but and Bobo is good. So there's like 1% that's good, and the rest are kind of meh. I don't know what it is. It's just something about yellow leaders. They're just really meh. So if the yellow heroism leaders in this set are meh, and you don't really want to play them, but you want to be in yellow, then that does become a drawback. But if we get a decent yellow leader, and we're like, that's good, then and you crack a Sabine, you're like, okay, yellow's gonna be my support color. It's not my primary color, and I'll probably be able to get that 2 damage off of Sabine. Then you're good. It's really, you got to play your numbers on this thing about getting that secondary on attack trigger. And it's a may, it's not a must, so you don't have to do it if you're not leaning heavily. If you're leaning heavily into cunning and playing a lot of yellow cards, then you don't have to do it. And you can try to make sure you're not getting rid of a lot of your other stuff. But if you somehow know what's on the top of your deck, well, I haven't seen a lot of ways to be able to look at the top of your deck yet in this thing. So it's a 50-50. It's a coin toss. It becomes very interesting. But in Constructed, I think is where she's going to shine. I think she's going to be a nice little 4-drop beat stick in Limited, where you're probably not going to want to use her ability all that much because you're not going to want to be like depleting your deck. That said, I wish that I had a way to play her in, like, I wish she wasn't heroism, because I would play her like all day long in Dr. Aphra, because I want more ways to discard off of my deck, but a lot of them are like heroism. It sucks. All right, Plo Koon is a 5-drop. He is a 3/6 with ambush. 3/6 ambush, not really the best stats, but you do get to eat something mid and survive. You're not really trading the card completely away, because a lot of things they're gonna have like 3 toughness, don't really have like 6 attack. So you'll probably be able to, eat something, stick around so you got another body to try to eat something else or get some damage into base. That's kind of cool. But if you do have coordinate, if you do have 2 other units, he gets raid 3, so he's ambushing as a 6/6 for 5. That's a lot better. I think that's very, very easy to pull off in Limited. Really good Limited uncommon. I will say that. Constructed, I'm kind of like meh, because we need to see like what Cunning's trying to do in Constructed is not go wide from like the first couple sets. It's a lot of like, it might be with like the Cunning red deck, a Cunning Sabine aggro deck, or a Young Han aggro deck, but of course, if you're playing, an aggression Cunning deck, a red-yellow deck, you're going to want to play Sabine, the new Sabine. And if you're playing Han, then your base is yellow, and all your cool combat tricks you're just discarding from the top of your deck to deal 2 damage. To try to and failing to do 2 damage. So I don't know. I think he's going to be much better in Constructed than he is in Limited, which kind of sucks because Plo Koon's kind of really cool, but I think it's kind of it falls in that same place as like the new Falcon. Good in Limited, might see some play in Constructed, but very fringe. Not, ooh, we got to put this in almost every deck. Creative Thinking. This is just your exhaust 2-drop exhaust trick to, and it's conditional. It has like certain, you can do it to only certain things. This is non-unique unit, so, and then you get to create a Clone Trooper token. In Constructed, so many units are unique because they got all the cool abilities, and in Limited is where this card is going to shine. Just, hey, I'll tap down your battle droid and I'll make a 2/2 Clone Trooper, or I'll tap down your Clone Trooper and I'll make a Clone Trooper. it's got some back and forth, and I think like that's a way to try to get to have Plo Koon be good in limited. Prisoner of War, 4-drop tactic. Friendly unit captures an enemy non-leader, very restrictive capture trick. If the enemy unit costs less than the friendly unit, create 2 battle droid tokens. So if you've got something that is more expensive, if the enemy unit costs less than the friendly, yeah. So if you capture something cheap of theirs, you get to drop out 2 more. Limited card. You're just gonna capture your clone trooper is gonna capture one of their battle droid tokens, and then you get 2 battle droids, and you don't really want battle droids because it does not synergize with your deck. You're probably trying to. You're definitely going to be one of the decks that's just trying to have battle droids to eat. So you're going to play your big thing. It's going to capture a clone trooper, and then you're going to create some more battle. Like you're going to play something. One of your actual units is going to capture a clone trooper. Clone trooper's just going to. You're paying 4 to kill a clone trooper at that point, and then you're creating 2 battle droids to ramp up into your big card next turn. It's just a limited card. Moving on. Battle Droid Escort. Just a Battle Droid Enabler. This is one of our starter deck cards because I think it would be a little bit too powerful and limited. You're paying 3. You're paying 3 to get a 2 Battle Droids that's going to ramp you. So when you sacrifice that Battle Droid and this Battle Droid to play something bigger, make it cost 4 less, then you're going to get another battle droid. So the next thing you want to sacrifice battle droids to be able to play is it gets cheaper. It's just a ramp spell in disguise. Granted, it does kind of suck because your opponent does have the chance to just you play this as your 3-drop. They attack, kill the token battle droid with their turn 1 play. That way you're down a battle droid, and you don't get the second battle droid until you sacrifice this one, so it can kind of destabilize you a bit. It might be good enough to play in constructed, but it's very. Your opponent's got some options to play around this, so I almost think it might just be dedicated purely to the starter decks, maybe Twin Suns, but. I think you're jumping through way more hoops than you think you are. Speaking of those exploits, trying to get lots of battle droids out to be able to get big things, Hellfire Tank is one of them. You can, if you've got 2 battle droids, you can play this on turn 3. Just make 2 battle droids. Yep. Play the last thing. On turn 2, play this. You got a 7/7 and a 1/1, a 7/8 and a 7/6 and a 1/1, and yeah, they need a Fell the Dragon to take this thing out. This thing is going to be good, but you know, if you're playing against the battle droid deck, you got to kill all the battle droids. You can't let them get that exploit, be able to pay the exploit with battle droids. The battle droids have to die. 332nd Stalwart, 1-drop. It's a starter deck card, has coordinate, and it's a 1/2. So if you constructed, you can draw the nuts where you're like, I got 2 of these things and some other 1-drop coordinate or a 2-drop coordinate card. You got 2 of these and like a 3-drop coordinate card. You got the perfect opening hand. You don't care what those other 3 cards are. Awesome. But you're living in magical Christmas land. Still, it's the 1-drop that the coordinate decks are going to need. It does become a 2/3 once you got everybody out. It's just a card to help the coordinate deck not suck in the starter deck. I really think that's what it is. It's just a coordinate card to make it coordinate not suck in the starter deck. It's a coordinate card for Twin Suns. It's nothing else. Moving on. Rebel Commando. 2/5 coordinate saboteur. That 5 toughness definitely means it's going to survive around long enough for you to be able to turn the coordinate on. So even if they are heavy sentinel build and you're able to basically like play this on 3, get out 2 more dudes. Young Han does have the tendency to be able to go wide, so you can put him in there. He could be an easy turn 2 drop with, and you're playing a bunch of 1-drops on turn 1 to be able to get the coordinate going. I could see this happening and being in a Young Han coordinate deck as a card in Constructed. In Limited, I think, yeah, it's decent 3-drop, survives, takes a bunch of hits, lets you get 2 coordinate enabler for Limited. Tranquility, we got a 7-drop Heroism Ship. It's a 7/6. When played, you may return a Republic unit from your discard pile to your hand. So basically, it's a Bright Hope without Sentinel. But instead of getting Sentinel, you have on attack the next 3 Republic cards you play this phase cost 1. Oh, and it's not starter deck. It's rare. That is nuts. Like, you could Ewing reinforcement this thing. And then, like, Ewing reinforcement this, and then drop, and then, like, the next turn attack, and then just drop your hand, I feel like 2 of these is going to be a staple. It's going to be a staple in the Padme deck. 2 of these. And that deck is going to be like, everybody's going to be like, Padme sucks, and you're just going to be like, go wide, clone troopers. Go wide, clone troopers. And they're like, how is he doing all it? I don't know. Just keep shooting. Go wide, stormtroopers. Okay, so these last 2 cards are actually part of the aggression aspect, but because they were spoiled as the preview card, the super advanced preview for the event exclusive packs, they got put at the end of the collector's numbers. So we got Asajj Ventress, 4-drop 2/4 with exploit 2. So basically, if you got 2 battle droids, you get to drop her for. Oh, okay. So she's coming out on turn 3 because you're going to play that starter deck. Get 2 battle droids and just drop Asajj. And she has on attack, if you attack with another separatist unit this phase. Ooh. Well, no, because the battle droid that you sack, that comes in and creates a battle droid, you sack it, you have another battle droid. So you try to have. Oh, there's a lot of hoops. But yeah, you're probably not going to be successfully getting the on attack if you've attacked with another separatist unit this phase. You get +3/+0 for the phase. That probably isn't going to happen all that often on turn 3. It can in Magical Christmas Land. It can in Constructed. Actually, wait, no, because you don't have to have them unexhausted, so you can attack. As long as they don't kill the battle droids, you can sacrifice both of them. As long as they don't kill, yeah, you can still sacrifice both of them, get her out on turn. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. But still, you're still gonna get it. You're still gonna get the. You can ECL her, and if you're ECLing her out, you're probably going to. Yeah, you can attack with the 2 battle droids. You can put her into play on turn 3. Well, not turn 3. You can put her into play on turn. Yeah, on turn 3 with only 3 resources. You can do it. How effective it's going to be, well, we don't know. But no, you could totally do that with her. She's probably going to be really good and constructed. She has the this version has the S special. I'm pretty sure that she's going to be either a rare or legendary. Probably a rare, because I think the next one's going to be the legendary. So she's going to be good. She's going to show up. You're going to be attack, sacrifice the things you attacked with, play her, go from having, throw away 2 battle droids in order to get a 2/4. Didn't cost you anything. You still get to make another. You'll still have 4 resources available, or will have used 4 resources. Basically, a nice sneak in after you've already attacked. You still have the chance to be like, I'll drop an Asajj. And your opponent's just like, oh, so much gas with her. Definitely something cool for limited. Constructed possibilities are really good. So, yeah, I'm loving her for it. She's going to be fun. Like, red villainy decks, gonna play Asajj. Red villainy decks also going to play Darth Maul on 5. 5-drop is a 5/6, and this unit can attack 2 units instead of 1. And it's not, you divide the damage. This is Darth Maul. This is double lightsaber Maul. This is hit this one for 5, hit this one for 5. If you're especially if you have in constructed, if you have a way to basically be like, I think the deck that I want to play him in is going to be in aggression, vigilance. My leader is going to be the 5th brother. My base is going to be the one that gives the shield token. Because I want to have a lot of different, I want to have some ways to be able to give him shield tokens. Like turn 6, I want to cast vigilance, and I either want to mill my opponent or defeat one of their smaller units and give Maul a shield, so that I can attack with Maul, be like, bap, bap, not take that much damage, be able to ping him for 1, deal bap, bap, hit some more, giving him the fallen lightsaber, so he also deals 1 damage to everything, all my opponent's ground units when he attacks. Because he can attack, I think it's just a single attack, so he'll deal 1 to everything, possibly ping off some stuff, be able to bop, bop. I think a Maul Cunning deck where you basically are able to give him, you can use Jeddah City to make something weaker. You can use, even in that Vigilance deck, you can use Make an Opening, be able to take, save him 3 damage. Lots of options here, and especially if you're able to, like, use cards that let him re-ready up. And there's a lot of like small stuff and even stuff that ways that you can give him damage prevention, such as the shields. It's a good thing that Boba Fett's armor only prevents the first 2 damage from Boba Fett, because if you slap some Mandalorian armor on him, you can give Maul Mandalorian armor. That's gonna buff his defense. Also give him a shield token. Well, no, you only get shield tokens to the Mandalorians if they're wearing it. But, some ways to give him shield tokens, multiple shield tokens. That's all in constructed. He's going to be nuts. Like, it's going to be Ginsu Blender Maul that just goes through and slices and dices everybody up. In limited, outside of constructed, where you can't give him shield, in limited where you can't give him shield tokens because there are no shield tokens, you're going to definitely be looking for ways to buff him, increase that toughness as much as you can, because he is going to be taking the damage from attacking 2 units at the same time. He's not going to survive. Yeah, no, you're going to have some fun with him. The other thing I would say in limited, you're going to have some fun. It's a 5-drop. You put him down. He survives. He gets to attack 2 things. And yeah, he is going to chew through your opponent's units in limited. It just 2 problematic units. Bah, bah. Especially if you've got a way to put, I really hope, I know the Fallen lightsaber is in set 1, but I really hope they give us like Maul's lightsaber. And I really kind of hope that ends up basically giving you some ways to, like if it's on Maul, it like lets it, like a version of like Maul Saber where it's like prevent 2 damage from him, so he can just kill clone troopers all day. Yeah, that's my dream. That's my pipe dream. I really hope we get a really cool Maul equipment or a really cool lightsaber to put on him, and we can just call it a day. Because that's awesome. And Maul is awesome. And that is all I have to say about the spoilers we've gotten from Twilight of the Republic so far. I know this was a long episode, and I just want to say, everybody who's made it through to the end, I love you, because you have listened to me talk. You have gotten those watch hours. Definitely has, each of you has added at least 1 watch hour to the YouTube analytics. So please, if you've stuck through to the end, if you've enjoyed what I've had to say, smash that like button, share this video, let people know, hey, your boy Fen, he's got some cool stuff to say. I'm hyped for this set to come out. Are you hyped for this set to come out? Of course you are. You stuck through to the end, and you're amazing. Again, love you, bless you, thank you, and may the Force be with you.
Hey everybody, thanks for staying till the end of the episode. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook at Board Barista Productions. And if you want to support us, Patreon link at the bottom.